When your customers start complaining about their experience, you need to look elsewhere, not just at what the customer's complaining about, but where within the back end of your business have things started to fall apart. My name is Abriana, and I'm the principal consultant at Black Unicorn Creative. And it is our work to help you understand your business, who you are, how you operate, and how people experience you, ensuring that those things are aligned. And I want to tell you a story. I have some points to make, but I'm gonna illustrate it in a story. And I've gotten mixed signals on this story, but it's my truth, and it's something that really happened. And I want to share it because it's got a front end and a back end component to it. So if you don't know, my background is in veterinary medicine, and I grew up, went to school wanting to be a veterinarian, wanting to understand the holistic approach to medical practice, helping animals be healthy and having a great quality of life. Part of that journey led me to managing a corporate pet resort. This corporation buys animal hospitals through acquisition and makes them a part of this larger mothership. One of their differentiators was they do not build animal hospitals, they only purchase them. But that comes with its own challenges as you have these different cultures, different stories, different founding beliefs and cultures coming under one roof, having to move as one. And so in my hospital, there was a pet resort. It was failing. I was able to go over and exert my creativity to bring it back, right? We did, we had bathing services, bathing and grooming services. And I think every other Wednesday, we would have a half price bath day. And that was really just getting people in the door. If they needed medical things, they could get the dog's medical requirements updated while they were there, save them a trip. Dog goes home fresh and clean and shiny. And it was just a win-win for everyone. And it gave us a little bit of a cash injection every 2 weeks or every other week to help us out, right? Get people in the door. So one day, well, actually not one day. Let me take it back a little bit. I realized that we did not have a good process for half price bath day. We had a sheet of paper where we would write down the baths, but we were starting to have issues where the dogs weren't getting things that the owners requested, or they got something that the owner said, I didn't ask for that, I don't want to pay for that, or we were missing their medical requirements because they weren't put on a high priority list, right? So I developed this process to help us manage half price bath days. And one part of the process was a sheet that traveled with the pet that said the owner, I don't know if you've ever been to oh my gosh, Char Grill, where you order your burger and you like circle all the things that you want. That's how the sheet was. Circle what they want, what scents they want. They want nail trims. These are the medical updates they need. Have those been done? There's a check off. The technicians were able to write whether or not they noticed something with the pet, like, oh, they seem like their ears are really bothering them. You might want to get an exam, things like that, right? We had this sheet, it traveled with the pet. Everyone knew what was happening with that pet. So that was part of the process that I developed to help address the problems that we were dealing with. So one day we had a client come in, she drops her dog off. She comes at least once a month for half price bath day. Not a new client, very seasoned client. She had 2 pit bulls and they were great. But when she picked up her dogs, she said, I didn't ask for any of this. You know, she had half price bath day was just a bath. Okay, if you wanted a nail trim, you had to add that on, right? She's like, I didn't ask for a nail trim. I didn't ask for them to get XYZ. I didn't ask for any of this, and I'm not paying for it. And no, wait, she didn't say I'm not paying for it. She did say she paid for it. But then when I came to the desk, she was upset about it. And she said, I want my money back. I said, okay, ma'am. All right. Tell me what's going on. She said, I didn't ask for any of this. I don't know why I was charged for this stuff. Like, the bath is supposed to be half price. I spent more than I was supposed to, more than I expected. So I want my money back. And then she added something. I was this close to giving her money back. She added something that changed the entire experience, because up until then, I was saying, okay, clearly we have missed something. We've had this new process for a few months now, but clearly something happened. There was a miscommunication, and we need to, solve it. Just make the customer happy and then move on. But she said, your team is a bunch of liars, and I don't know why they would make up stories about me and the things that I agreed to. I'm not happy with them and why they would do this to me. And then that gave me pause. Because, girl, what? We have a sheet. Believe me, we were high volume. We did not want to do extra work. No one signed up for extra work. And no one lied about you. This is not a girl. So my response to her was, I have no problem giving you your money back. But I need you to understand that once I do, you cannot come back here. And that gave her pause. And I was like, this is a reality. If you feel that we have done something to harm you and lied on you, I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't want to subject you to that ever again. And you will not be, because you will not be able to come back. And you shouldn't want it either if it's true. You have been a loyal customer here. But if this is what's happening for you, we will not allow it to happen again. And you will be able to find somewhere else to get your dog's bathed. And then she stepped back. We had a conversation. She ended up leaving. But this is where that front and that back end, they are connected. Because my initial, at first I was like, okay, I will give you your money back. But once there was an attack on the team that I know, that when I was starting to receive information that I knew was not aligned with how my team operates, because we don't have the capacity, we don't have the malice or the intent, especially on those really busy days, to do extra. And then for it to be positioned as lie, people are dealing with things in their lives all the time, and they take things in different ways. But I knew that it was important to protect my team in that moment, because there was just inconsistency around the story. And so to have the best outcome, that's why I offered a refund, and you can seek services elsewhere. So when I talk about the customer experience not being broken, like by the time you start hearing the complaints from the customer experience side, something has broken in the back end. I knew that going in. I knew that. That's why we were developing different processes. And I was absolutely open to learning and evolving and adjusting and creating new things to help us deliver on the promises that we were making every single Wednesday, especially for Half Price Bath Day. But I also knew that for the integrity of the team, because multiple people were in the lobby at that moment, I could not say, or I could not commit to that narrative, because I knew that was not true. And I am not someone who believes that the customer is always right. I do believe that they share their experience of you, and it's up to you to decide what to do with that information. I don't believe people lie about how they have interpreted their experience. Well, they may. Situational, right? But it is up to us as business leaders to make the next best decision on what we should do with that information. So before I put a new process in place, I knew that the customers were experiencing the gaps. There was confusion. There was confusion with their bills. There was confusion with what their pets were getting. The pets weren't getting things. We were creating issues where the owners would have to come back in to get a medical something, to get a vaccine, because it wasn't done when the pet was there. And that was not okay. Not only do we want to increase their average order value while they're there, but we want to let them know that we want to be convenient for them, right? We value their time. And so when you have slow handoffs or unclear ownership or communication that is just weak, it shows up, right? And we knew we were scrambling. Developing a new process helped us also. It required a repeatable system that all of us had to learn. It was brand new. But I knew that just because I was the manager, it could not be a situation where people just requested me because I could get it right. I had to create a system that was basically foolproof, that would empower everyone on my team to be able to deliver the same experience. If they could not deliver that experience, they were at least equipped with the information to communicate why that could not happen. How your business operates is truly where your brand promise is proven to your customers. And largely within that practice, we wanted our customers to know that we valued their time. We knew that they were very busy. We were in a very affluent area, professionals with families. We wanted them to know that, yes, your animal is safe here. They're going to have a good time here, especially in the pet resort. And we're going to be as efficient as possible so that we can get you in and out, and make sure your pet is cared for in the way that they need. And so once I realized that how we moved behind the soundproof wall was directly tied to that experience, was directly tied to delivering on that promise, I started to change the processes and the SOPs that we had. I started to say, okay, this is why everyone understood why certain things were done. We're actually going to have to change how it's done in order to deliver on this promise. And so that is why I say, your brand operations and experience are inexplicably connected, because there's a thread that draws it through. The entire customer journey is connected to who you say you are, how you operate, and how you deliver on that experience. It seems very simple, but it is a huge disconnect happening within organizations today. So I would love for you in the comments to map one of your customer journeys. Or even just make this as homework. You don't have to share all the details. But this is your homework. Map a customer journey from when they first encounter your brand to where your internal process creates friction and creates frustration for your customers. See where those bottlenecks are. It's one of the things that I do with my clients, and there's no right way to, well, there's a better way to do it, but for you, there's no right way to do this, okay? You just have to start thinking about it and thinking in this, I won't say logical, but process-driven way. You say, okay, well, this is what they're experiencing, and then let that map diverge. Okay, this is what they're experiencing on the outside, and this is what we're doing on the inside. Where is there friction there? How can you identify those things early and address them quickly? That's the difference between someone who can deliver on their brand promise and someone who cannot. Thank you for tuning in to another day of the 30 Days of Brand Alignment Sprint. I will see you in the next video.